Um, so I've got a handful of friends who wanting to get into drawing, um, or are struggling with learning how to draw, and I mean I've got a fucking teaching degree, so I may as well use it for something. Plus, like I want to be able to share the joy of creation. No, not the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. Please grab that from your memory. So, just gonna go over a quick couple of things. So, I draw using vector layers. So I'm using CSP, and the difference between a vector layer and a raster layer is a vector layer. Um, every little line stroke you do is actually a path with a whole bunch of points on it. Um, so you can just like manipulate it in any way that you want. And CSP actually has this really cool thing down here with your eraser, where you can just erase certain areas like a regular eraser, or you can erase up to a certain intersection. So like you hit like a 90-degree angle with something, and then you can like just scrub out some lines like that, or you can just delete the entire fucking line. Raster, on the other hand, it's just your typical art layer. Um, like you don't get to have any fancy paths and shit with that. So that's the sort of thing that you want to use for coloring in your picture. You can draw on raster as well if you really want. I prefer not to. That's how I get my clean lines. I actually struggle to draw, so my creative process is a little bit different and a little bit elongated. I figured today, on top of that, I would also go through my drawing process with drawing my own fursona hook. It's pretty obvious that my style has is heavily influenced by Futurama. And that actually came about because I started drawing over Simpsons memes. And big surprise, you're just allowed to draw over things. Did you know that? So there are some basics that you're going to pick up. You don't need to draw in a specific way. Find what works for you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is I actually like to give characters a different head shape based on their species and personality. Uh, like Hook. Hook is a fucking more masculine, scrunkly guy. So he gets the blockhead, whereas Jupe is supposed to be an Arctic fox, so she gets more of the like the round head with a bit more like pointy finesse on it, and that can help define your character from the get go. So starting with Hook, or starting with any character, I like to just draw their head first. Um, I'll throw in some ears to give me a better approximation of where everything else on the head goes. I don't think there's really much advice I can give with hair. Hair is really fucking hard for me to draw. So I just went with the typical spikes. I would highly recommend getting inspiration from artists that you enjoy. It's okay to copy what they do. And I forgot to turn off the erase entire line. So we're gonna add these little lines to signify the sort of like fold of the ear, because ears on animals are not like flat triangles; they're more like cones. Erasing Erasing these lines here because, like, obviously the ears are connecting to the top of the head, and adding a little bit of a square in there, restoring the square that used to be there. Um, Adding some fringe in. The way I draw hair is has actually been heavily inspired by Scott Ransomere, VG Cats. Maddie, if you could pick like an unflattering picture to put on there, that'd be great. Um, so I like to give him some cheek fluff to sort of disguise how fucking square his head is. Um, and the snoot, the muzzle, sorry, is um, usually I do it more square than that. That's much too long. Um, so what I'm gonna do instead of like erasing the entire line, when I'm probably gonna be drawing this again later, I'm just gonna bring it in. He's like more stubby and cartoony. We'll give him a little triangle for his nose, and so the way I do eyes is I do two ovals typically. Those ovals, or like they can be ovals or circles or whatever. Give him some eyebrows. Give him some little eye bags. There's different ways that you can draw eye bags. Um, but because it's a cartoon and you're working with more minimal lines, you're gonna find that different lines convey different things. So I like to just do a little. I guess it's a little bit like some eyelashes underneath the eye, is you follow the same process of like going up and around and contouring it. Yeah, it's not the same. It's a bit similar. I will be taking those eyelashes away though, because like me, he's pretty butch. He's not very good at doing the feminine thing. I apologize for my stuttering and my inconsistencies with my words, because I've haven't actually had my ADHD medication in 1 week. I think it's about a week at this point. It might be 2. Um, give him a little smile. It's a little bit awkward, a little bit crooked. I'll erase that so I can grab that back. Um, Something worth experimenting with is whether or not you want to have the like whether or not you want to draw the actual sort of this sort of lip thing, the 3 shape that connects all the way to the nose. I actually keep forgetting it exists. And it's something that I like to add on to give the character a little more realistic detail. I also like to. You're probably going to be pointing at this if you've ever seen Rocco's Modern Life, and you're going to be like, "Oh my god, is that Rocco?" Yeah, actually, Rocco's knobbly teeth is something that I particularly enjoy about his design. So it's starting on the neck. Um, Necks are not perfectly straight. You can make them straight if you want. As a general rule, go with what looks good. And if something passes as looking good, then don't worry about it too much. Um, I kind of spread out into the arms, not the arms, in the shoulder, and then I tend to like block out the body. Um, in this instance, he has ended up a little bit too short. Um, so I'm just gonna resize that a little bit. And I'm gonna have another crack at doing, yeah. Something you'll probably want to figure out is Like, if you want to draw characters consistently, figure out how big you want their body to be in proportion to um their head. Did I say their head in proportion to their body? So, as an example here, um, this drawing of Hook is like 3.5 heads high, and I'd say that's probably the lower limit of what I would like for him or what I would allow. Any smaller than that, and he's going to start looking like a kid. The typical human body is like 7.5 to 8 heads tall. Um, so that's just something to figure out with proportion. Um, I really should have come up with a fucking lesson plan about this and done it more efficiently rather than ramble, but this is the best I can manage, sorry. I like to try to block out where the legs are, um, because that helps define like where the rest of the body is going to be, and it's okay to just use vague rectangles and stuff like that. Um, that's not even as like that's not even like conditional. That's just a it's oh, fuck. It's not like oh, you can do this when you're starting out. Nah, dude, just fucking cut all the corners you want. It's great, dude. So I haven't given Hook a perfect rectangle body, and you can probably see that from uh now that I've like blocked out where his torso is and where his legs are. And I think I will skip going over the intricacies of body parts right now. Um, so I'm just gonna give him his little boots. I like to draw him in work boots. Like try to give him the worker aesthetic. He's just a laborer. He's not super book smart, and he's always trying to do something, like always bouncing from project to project because he feels like if he's not doing something, then he's not worth something. Like he's wasting his and other people's times, and he has to justify his existence. And that's something you need to think about with your designs as well. Is like, what are you trying to convey with their outfits and their designs? And these have to be some of the worst fucking shoes I've ever drawn. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cheat. I'm going to fucking lasso this goddamn boot over here. I'm just going to copy paste that. I'm just going to move that over here. There we go. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because it's closer to the camera. I'm going to offset where where the bottom of it sits. There we go. And I'm just going to merge those selected layers. I'm actually going to, let's do that over there. Cut those, hide those away. What I'm going to do now is, it's going to be a little bit over the place because I'm going to start filling in his curves. Typically, I think I start with trying to narrow, like block out the rib cage and the fucking trapezoid shape there. I'm actually going to move that fucking arm of his out of the way. Yeah, there we go. That's starting to seem a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, that ass is too big. Ugh. I put a lot of time and effort into like drawing fat titties and drawing big legs and fat asses and stuff like that. So to then go and like give Hook cargo pants after I've lined out his fucking amazing thighs and wonderful other parts of his legs. It's just kind of like, oh boy, I miss him. So, yeah, it's good to keep in mind whether or not you want the character to be wearing skin tight clothing, or whether you're just gonna put them in cargo pants and stuff like that. Depending on what approach you want to take, you can outline the crutch area or the crotch if you're a Yank, or I guess someone who pronounces it properly. Um, you can just give it like a fucking line across, and that I think that's like more of an overall stylistic decision. If you're giving your characters thinner legs, um, actually, Finn from Adventure Time is a great example there. I typically draw characters that are rocking coochies, like with the bigger hips and stuff like that. So I usually give characters a Y shape for that area. Um, that also helps define like I'm just gonna quickly give Hook some beautiful thick thighs as an example. It helps round out that area. When it comes to other characters, like if you want to give them a bulge, like obviously you're gonna have to take some time to do that, but depending on the size of the bulge you want to add, um, I'm really putting too many things into putting too many fucking here and go thoughts. Okay, so he's got his pants, he's got his fucking work boots. I'm gonna put a line down the side of his pants as the seam, and we're gonna add a little thing for his pocket and the fly. Let's see. Now I'm gonna add a fucking love handle over here. I might need to make that smaller later. Actually, I'll do his boobs first. Probably should have done those before I started working on his pants. Those might be a bit too big. Yeah, that'll do. Vague circle things. You can go for perfect circles with drawing boobs if you really want. I don't like that. As silly as it may sound, I like adhering to a level of believability and realism because like a horny artist, that's what turns me on. I'm not a fan of like perfectly spherical fucking beach ball boobs. So now his arms actually gonna end up covering his love handle, but I'm gonna add at his tummy. And I forgot to mention that I actually usually draw the boobs and the tummy first, and then figure out the legs and the pants from there. I'll give him a little belly button. You know what? Let's draw him in his fucking sports bra. If you have any questions about like why did you make this shape, how did you do that, can you show it to me, can you explain it to me, just feel free to leave a comment or anything like that, or shoot me a DM on whatever. I'm on Blue Sky. I have a Discord. I have a Telegram. I barely use Telegram. Also, I just reminded myself that I haven't actually opened Facebook in a long time. And the last time I spoke to my mum was like a week ago, when it was her fucking birthday. So, Hook has a. You know what? I will address his fucking legs first. I've moved his crotch to suit, and he has some little nipples on his tummy because he is supposed to be more feral or animalistic. He's like a fucking farm boy. I was talking to my husband the other day when we were going for ice cream, and I was like, Hey, what if Hook was literally raised by wolves and literally born in a barn? And he was like, yeah, that's kind of funny. So yeah, he has that. He's got a fucking robotic arm as well. And I don't even know how to draw this in a three-dimensional space yet. I'm probably gonna have to uh like draw the design on someone's arm at some point or carve it from foam. But it's heavily inspired by um armor from Halo, except instead of like having a separate little pauldron part and then a separate fucking arm guard, it's just the three parts with the fucking arm. Sorry, it's just I'm actually really struggling at the moment to get my words out. But it's supposed to be more simplistic because like as an artist, as an animator, yes, I have done some animation before, but it can be a little bit harrowing and time consuming. Um you need to decide whether or not you want to go for drawing excessive amounts of detail on someone or not. I don't really have any words for what I just fucking did with his hand there. Um, it was just like, zoop. Sorry, I don't know how to explain that, without a specific question being asked. Hands are something that are going to really fucking upset you for the longest time. I still don't know how to draw them properly, and, so my former housemate and one of my best and dearest friends, Merlin, they actually have a comic series. You should look up DHS comics.com. So Merlin posts at least one comic a day on the regs, sometimes fucking two. And if you have a look at how they draw hands, they really live by close enough is good enough. And I really strive to like live by that as well because I've had problems with perfectionism. Like you're not going to win every battle with your art, and close enough just has to be good enough sometimes. And that's something that I'm still learning. And I just realized this little part of Hook's arm over here looks a little bit like a nipple, and I find that funny. But yeah, no, I still don't know how to draw hands very well. Actually, if you're looking for any design principles or anything like that, you should just look up Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 art analysis videos. In particular, for their hands, using their hands as an example, you can see that they're like because Team Fortress 2 is stylized and it came out in 2007. They didn't have like all the fucking polygons in the world. But you look at that and you're like, yeah, that's a hand. I can accept that as a hand and with fingers and stuff. And that's where I started. I learnt from copying Team Fortress 2. But I might go into some other things that I've learnt from Team Fortress 2's design as well. Um, but not today because this video, at the time of live recording, is like 30 minutes long, and I'm gonna need Maddie to cut out a ton of my stuttering. So continuing on, we're gonna reduce the line of Hook's jawline there, so his head doesn't look like it's detached. And what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of chest fluff, or like a little bit of neck fluff. Yeah, there we go. And I think I'm still I still want to learn Tails. I feel I'm not happy 100% with the way I draw them, but the only way that I'm going to get better is by drawing. So I want to put Hook's tit. Yeah, actually, I do kind of want to put Hook's tit over his arm there because I think that would be hot. Oh no, let's put that back. We can do tits another day. Let's see, what else is missing? Oh, right, piercings. So I give Hook a septum piercing. Hook basically has all the piercings I would have IRL. I haven't been able to get them all yet because various reasons. There's just, oh my god, that's too many words to try to put together. Um, but earrings are really simple. You just do loops. Eyebrows can be a bit more difficult if you're doing with like single line things. Again, just go with what works. And he also has a, navel piercing. There we go. I also forgot to give him a mullet because he's supposed to look like he's supposed to be daggy. He's supposed to be. I'd call him a bogan. I'd probably call him a bogan at this point. He actually used to be more of a southern cowboy type thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm just a redneck. But Rye at one point was like, actually, I think Hook would make for a more charming Australian. I know you like doing the cowboy. So yeah, now he's just now he's just a fucking daggy Aussie. Um so now that I've done the sketch, what I like to do is actually reduce the opacity and then just draw over the image again. It's much easier for me to just look back at the lines that I've done, like just have them there and trace over it. And like you'll see I'll do some lines differently, like there with his hair. I've given it more sort of like a rounded, wavy look. His fringe, I'm adjusting exactly where it comes down. There are some points where you need to, like, I find myself with perfectionism problems trying to get everything right and get it better every time. But sometimes the first time you did it is the one that looks good. And sometimes you just need to be able to go, no, that looks fine. That's fine. Cause at this point I don't know whether it was hyperbole or whether it was an actual study that happened. But there's this rhetoric about this pottery class where you get half the students in the class that need to make one perfect final product to submit, and you have the other half of the class, they have to submit like 15 or so different fucking examples of their pottery. And the ones that just tried to make the perfect pot from the get-go, theirs actually kind of sucked. The ones who had to submit like the 15 models or whatever, they actually ended up making better stuff. Because like the only way to get better at something is to fucking do it. So rather than like at this point, I'm gonna phrase it as like, can you do a favor for me? Passionate artist to passionate artist. Don't focus on making sure that something is perfect, because the time that you're wasting on trying to make the thing perfect could be spent on making something else. And while you're making something else, you could still be practicing those same skills, but you'd also be practicing new skills, and you're not going to be like tearing your fucking hair out. Oh, why doesn't it look good? Why doesn't it look good? I want it to be. No, just drop it. First and foremost, this is an activity that needs to be fun for us. We need to like it. If we don't like it, then there's no point in doing it. And while I'm at it, the fucking mindset of, oh, I'm not an artist, I can't draw. Shut the fuck up. Everyone can draw. Some people don't do it as well as others, or like some people are more skilled at it, more honed at it than others. and some people do have a natural talent for it. Um, like I've been doing this for 20 years. I still have my first drawing of a really shitty clone trooper I did, but it's only been in the last few years that I've really been able to, get into doing this properly as like a more full-time gig. And part of that has been because I got not specifically, I got a Cintiq, but I got a tablet that's got a screen on it. So that removes basically all of the fucking cognitive dissonance from me trying to, like, if you've done digital art before, you will know you've got to look at your fucking monitor when you're trying to draw on the tablet. And it's like, why am I looking up when my fucking page should be in front of me? Um, Pretty much everyone I've given my Cintiq to use has found that they have a blast with it. It's like it just removes the barrier. Um, I feel like I trailed off from something, not being able to draw, I think. All right, yeah. Look, I still struggle. I still beat myself up a lot. I have a lot of anger and disappointment pointed towards myself because I've been doing this for 20 fucking years, man. Like, I was fucking 12 when I started, and I'm turning 32 this year. It can be really disheartening when it's taken me like 40 minutes to draw this hook when someone else could be drawing like sexy pin-up furries in the same amount of time. And it's just, you just gotta try to focus on like the fun of the creation. If you could do a favor for me, try to find at least one person that you can show your art to that can give you feedback. And I don't mean feedback as in like, oh yeah, this looks great, you're good at art. I mean, get them to pick like maybe two things that they feel that you did a good job on, like to be specific on it, and then um yeah, do a fucking compliment sandwich. Compliment Sanger. This is something that I've actually learnt from my teaching degree. That like, okay, so I'm unqualified to teach primary schoolers, which for people in the US, that's um like the ages of, it's prep or kindergarten, as you might call it, to grade 6. So the ranges of about like 4 years old to about 13 years old on average. Um, but the thing is, we adults don't learn any differently to the way that children do. That's just how it is. And something something that I was taught, we were taught, was you don't give a fucking vague wishy-washy comment to a kid by being like, "Oh yeah, this is great. You did great." Because uh I'm gonna avoid going into a fucking trauma dump here, but um getting someone to give you the vaguest things means that you don't really have a fucking metric for how to measure yourself. And so I don't know if US, if you'll do it in the US, but we have a thing called a rubric. It's like a fucking scorecard. It's categorized from like task A, task B, task C, and you'd have A, B, C, D, E. So it would like outline, it would break down what you're doing into different components. Like A might be your ability to make arguments, or it might be your ability to understand the program. B might be spelling and punctuation, or your ability to reference. And your you'd have like a description from values A through E, and your teacher can look at that and be like, okay, well, your spelling and punctuation is really bad. Like you need to spell check and proofread. But it could be that your understanding of the program is like fucking spot on, and that's also something that you need to do with your art as well. You need to break your art into different parts so you can actually look at it. Funnily enough, you need to break it into its parts so you can understand and improve holistically. Um, Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, Maddie. You're gonna have a fucking terrible time figuring out the thought stream here. Um but back on Hook, so his tummy, I've changed the line on his boobs there to more adequately represent how they sit individually. I've this little thing here, I've squished it up to try to indicate that his boobs are too big for his top, and that's easy to illustrate if I give him a more low cut top. Now, this is very hot in cartoon standards, at least for me, but I really need you to know that uh, if you have boobs and wear a bra and your boobs are starting to squish out of the top of it, actually please try to go get fitted for a bigger bra if you can manage it or afford it. Um, because that is just going to be like pinching your fucking chest together, and it's probably going to be harder on your back than if you just weren't wearing a fucking bra in the first place. Um, Hook's arm, it's broken into two distinct layers. Um, you've got this lined part underneath that is supposed to be Maddie, can I have a picture of Bender from Futurama on screen? And can you put an arrow towards his limbs, how they have the lines through them? It's supposed to emulate like a level of flexibility, or it's like a fucking coiled together piece of machinery. And then for here, I have the armored pieces over the top. So hypothetically, you would actually be able to remove the armored parts, and it would just be the what is it called? It's like it's not coiled. Matt, if you figure out the word that I'm trying to go for, please let me know. I'm not sure if I've actually missed anything. I like to give Hook some cargo pockets on his pants to again hammer home the he is like doing physical work most of the time. He actually usually I settled on giving him coveralls that he wears, but they're usually like tied at his waist, and he's got his sports bra or singlet, and then he's got a fucking hoodie over the top. I don't. It's actually a really fucking stupid design. Like, why don't you just tie up your coveralls? Why are you wearing a hoodie? The only reasonable answer I can give is he didn't actually have any other pairs of pants to wear, and the upper part doesn't make it over his belly and boobs. He's a big boy. I'm trying to think if there's anything off the top. Okay, oh, that's right. Putting a little button thing there. You might like to try to define the flap a little more. And to give it a more overhanging look, you can just thicken that black line to make it look like it is a shadow. I think that might be it. Actually, let's I don't usually oh wait, how could I fucking forget? Um his pants, cuffs at the bottom of the pants are kind of like a rolled up little part. So like if you're gonna add those in, try to make them like sit out a little bit from the main pant. They still do, however, have the seam down the side. Um, if you're drawing shoelaces as well, you don't have to go a whole hog. You can just make it a single line. This is actually like too far out for the shoelace to sit, but I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna draw it over here instead. Um, let's just fucking draw a boot. Let's just draw a boot real quick. That is the best fucking boot I have ever fucking drawn. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, like a boot or any shoe, you've got a front part, you've got that little back part there, you've got the little rubber part on the bottom. And you have that part there. The important thing to remember is shoelaces aren't neatly sitting up in a fancy bow all the time. Especially for hook, they are sloppy. Maddie, when I say sloppy, could you actually layer the Final Fantasy 14 boss that says sloppy? Let's not go into the intricacies of like a regular foot versus digitigrade, Digimon legs. I think Hook's upper body here is actually a lot longer than his lower body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if stretching out his legs will make it look any better. And oh, yeah, I do like that. I do like that. Yeah, because on average, the length of a person's legs up to about here should be about the length of like their tummy to over their head. I will go more into proportions in another video. Should you be interested in hearing about that? But it is pretty safe to follow those proportions. And what I'm doing here is I've actually just duplicated the layer that I was working on. And I'm only erasing certain parts of it because I've only chopped certain parts of Hook's body up. And then I'm just going to draw him again. Ideally, you should be working... I kind of don't like the phrase work smarter, not harder, because it feels nice to cheat. It feels... You know, we have like this inherent thing, or like some people have this inherent built-in thing where taking shortcuts feels gross and wrong, like it's you know, cheating, like it's evil or whatever. And like I just want to remove the stigma from that. Like just use all the fucking shortcuts. If it's not hampering, if it's not like objectively hampering your ability to do something, then just take a fucking shortcut. Speaking of shortcuts, I think I'm at the end of the video, and if any of you out there watching actually is afraid of tracing art to use it as a reference or to like modify it, you have full permission to edit, draw over anything that I have made that isn't like a gift for someone else, as long as you're not using the final product to hurt someone else or to insult someone else, or if you're not, please don't sell it, please. But as a learning tool, like, go ahead. Go ahead. Sometimes the only way to really figure out how to do something is to just copy what someone else has done. And then maybe you can begin to understand, oh, I get why this actually looks good and stuff like that. And at this point, I'm actually really hoping that this video is going to save properly, because I've been talking about drawing a fucking coyote for a goddamn fucking hour. I was like, oh yeah, in and out, 10-minute adventure. Marty, 10-minute drawing, in and out, 10 minutes. Oh, jeez, Rick, I didn't know about that. Yeah, come on, Maddie, edit my video. It's gonna be 10 minutes in and out. 10 minutes in and out. Oh. Yeah, so, I'm calling it there. I hope this has helped. I will probably come back and color this at some point to explain how I do that. But I will also draw a handful of other things, probably by request. So, take it easy, thank you, and, please keep drawing. And if, like, you drew something along to this video, or you drew something because of this video, can you just show me? Can I see it, please?